All right, y'all, Shabbat Shalom. We're going to get started in a moment here, so I encourage you all to take your seats. Sorry for interrupting in conversations. And we're going to start on page 120 of our prayer book. I'm going to invite Autumn up here to light the Shabbat candles. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh so loud at that. Wow. Asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahad litner shel Shabbat. Thank you, Autumn. I'd also like to report that on Sunday, I believe it's solstice, so it gets darker for like, what, one more day and then 2 more days, and then it starts getting lighter again, which is so exciting. Anyways, moving on. We're on page 128. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achyot gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achyot gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achyot gam yachad. We now move over to Lechad Odi, which you can find on page 138 of your prayer books. And tonight we're going to be reciting paragraphs 1, 5, and 9, and we arrive on paragraph 9. I invite you all to stand up and face the entrance as we greet the Shabbat bride. Lechad Odi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmiyanu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem l'teferet v'letila. Lechad Odi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lechad Odi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, kiva ore kumi ori, uri shir daberi, kivod Adonai alek nagila. Lechad Odi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lechad Odi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise. Boi v'shalom aterit bal'a gam bismicha ubtzola tochemunei am segula boi chala Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 You may be seated. We now move over to Shalom Aleichem on page 142 of your prayer books. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Just turn the page to 144. Yitkadal v'yitkada shemei rabba Be'elma divrach yotev yamlik malchutei B'chayechon uv'yomechon Uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael Bagala Uv'izman ka'ariv V'imaru amen Yehi shmei rabba mevarach Le'alam ulal me'almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar v'yitbraman v'yitnaseh V'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal Shemei kudasha barichu Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Da'al miran be'alma V'imaru amen. We now move to the Baruch Hu, which you can find on the next page on 146. When you arrive there, I invite you to stand with me. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Baruch Hu et Adonai, Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Le'olam va'ed. Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Le'olam va'ed. be seated. Okay, we're now moving over to Ma'ariv Aravim, and let's read together the English on the bottom part of page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Ma'ariv Aravim. Moving over to page 151, let's read the English together on the bottom part of that page. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love, and this holiest of your works in the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We now move into the Shema on page 152. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Avad. Let's turn the page. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meyodecha v'hayehu hadevarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinartam levarnecha b'divartam ba'am B'shiptecha b'veitecha, uvtecha havaderech, ushofpecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leyot al yadecha, v'hayilatotafot b'neinecha, uktaftam al mizuzo beitecha, uvisharecha. Lema'an tizkeru v'asitem et chol mitzvotai, Vitem kiroshim leloechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotziatechem meretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem lelochim, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem, emet. We now move to page 158 for the Micha Mocha. Lie, 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 mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi chamocha ne'edar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh efele, nora tehilot oseh efele, lie, 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 lie. Let's now read the English together on top of page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporesh sukat shalom, aleni v'akol amo Yisrael v'yal Yerushalayim. Over to the Shamru on page 162. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. B'nei uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. Ki shechet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. Ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. We now move over to the Amidah on page 164. I invite you to rise with me when you get there. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufiya b'tehilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufiya b'tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol v'Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imavot, U'Mevik Gula Livnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, Ezra Saram, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Kol Atara L'Yoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Marib HaGashem, Mekakel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim B'Rofei Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayei Emnato Rishanei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Geburot, U'Midon Melech, Melech Mebit, U'Mechayei, U'Matzmir Yeshua, U'Ne'eman atah l'chayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol. You'll now continue silently until page 180. You may be seated whenever you like. Osei shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'yakol Yisrael. Ve'yakol yoshvei tevel. V'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'yakol Yisrael. Ve'yakol yoshvei tevel. V'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'yakol Yisrael. 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 Okay, some words of Torah. Here we go. So in these last couple of weeks, I've tried to show this paradigm shift of the qualities required from our patriarchs, and really the qualities required to be a patriarch. After Abraham, our Torah is looking for specific skill sets from his progeny. So I presented a theory that in the Jacob cycle was a shift, that our Torah required a patriarch to be clever and cunning rather than strong and violent. For example, Esau, the firstborn, was supposed to be our tradition's patriarch. Instead, it was the second son, Jacob. Now, none of us consider ourselves to be Edomites, who are the progeny of Esau. We consider ourselves as Israelites, who are the progeny of Israel, whose name was changed from Jacob. Now, we need to be careful here, because I don't think the Torah is saying we are now making whoever is born second the patriarch from now on. Yeah. Let me prove my point, okay? Here we go. Stay tuned. You're going to see in a moment. What I believe the Torah is telling us, though, is that it's choosing the patriarch via a meritocracy rather than a birth order. The brother that achieves the most is the official patriarch. But a problem with a meritocracy is that it's not clear who is the chosen son for some time. And the advantage of the firstborn son system is you know who's chosen right away. So when you have 12 boys, for example, they have to achieve things before we know who gets the job of patriarch. And this week's portion brings us not one, but two contenders, Joseph and Judah. And attempting to declare a winner is actually a bit of a nail-biter. Right out of the gates of this week's portion, we see that Joseph is a poor fit to be a shepherd, and thus most likely a poor fit for the title of patriarch. Most people say he's too young to be a shepherd, which is why he ends up becoming Jacob's messenger. And I would argue that he is really just a bad sheep herder, and Jacob can't think of anything else for him to do. And this would explain why his brothers hate him so much. Not only is he horrible at his job, or that he's Jacob's favorite child, but he also keeps telling his brothers about his dreams, where he's better than they are. And they have had enough. They hate their brother Joseph so much that unfortunately this leads to some ugly choices. The brothers sell Joseph to slavery and plant evidence of his death to deceive their father. However, this served to get Joseph to an environment where he can thrive, and that's Egypt. This is a new twist of what's needed for a patriarch, because Joseph is just not cut out to be a sheep herder. But when it comes into living in a cultured civilization, Joseph excels. He is sold to Potiphar, who holds the royal position of like chief of guard, and Joseph essentially works his way up to chief of staff in Potiphar's house. And here we're seeing another paradigm shift. Instead of picking the wealthiest sheep herder to be a patriarch, like we did with Jacob earlier, now the Torah is moving the goalposts and changing the necessary qualities to make a patriarch. A patriarch needs to be incredibly competent in a civilized society. Now, earlier, as you heard me mention before, Joseph is not the only contender for the title of patriarch. Judah is also a candidate, and something strange happens here in this week's Torah portion. We're having a good time, right, reading Joseph's story in chapter 37 of Genesis, and we move to chapter 38, assuming there's more story of Joseph to read about, but chapter 38 is not about Joseph. Halfway through Joseph's story, a story about Judah inserts itself, a story about Judah and Tamar. And there's a lot of speculation as to why there's a story about Judah here. Some say it's thematically relevant. I don't believe them, but some say it is. Others say that it's the great Torah redactor who had this story and couldn't find a better place for it, so decides to squeeze it in right here. And there are lots of other theories out there. But its insertion leads to a question. Who gets to pick the patriarch? Well, I think the first answer we would say would be God. I think there's more going on here than God just trying to pick the best person. Because if you remember, in 722 BCE, the Assyrians conquered northern Israel and essentially disappeared the 10 tribes there. This included all of Joseph's progeny. Judah, Benjamin, Levites, and some Levites and the priests were the only remaining people left. Judah becomes the dominant tribe because Benjamin is a very small tribe, and the Levites' jobs were to support the priests. A patriarch is only valuable if its tribe still exists. So Joseph, no matter how competent, intelligent, powerful, and wealthy he becomes, can only really be considered a patriarch until 722 BCE. Because us Jews inherited our tradition from a combination of Judahites, Benjaminites, Levites, and priests. Judah really wins the patriarch game sort of by luck. He himself has no particular valuable qualities, but he is the progenitor of David and Solomon and their line. Or it's not luck at all, but another paradigm shift. No longer can the force of will of one person control the entire destiny of the Israelites and the Jewish people. A single patriarch is just not enough. Which is why after Jacob, we have 12 tribes of Israel, 12 distinct groups of people who are tasked with keeping themselves as Israelites alive, healthy, and even wealthy. One could argue that God decided to hedge God's bets. Instead of relying on one person to be God's chosen, God now relies on 12. So back to the question of who picks the patriarch. The answer, I believe, is the survivor does. Joseph was indeed a great patriarch, but the Judahites survived the longest, long enough to insert their own chapter in the middle of the Joseph story, as if to say, yeah, Joseph has a great story, but we control how this book is written because we are still here. So while Joseph's cycle makes for an incredible storytelling, it's Judah whose tribe survives the longest, builds the temple, and continues the Israelite line to modernity. In fact, the word Judaism is derived from Judah's name. And for me, this is anticlimactic. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph's stories are compelling, engaging, and legendary. Yet it's the tribe of Judah that figures out how to fulfill God's promise of continuing the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We don't even really consider him a patriarch. In our liturgy, we mention the patriarchs often, and his name does not really come up. Yet there is some wisdom here. The Torah's evolving nature of how it chooses the patriarch evolved not to a person with an amazing story, but but a person who managed to truly multiply in the literal sense of the word. While Judah may not have been the patriarch we wanted, he was the patriarch we needed. Thank you. We now move into the Misha Berach, our prayer for healing, on page 371 of your prayer books. In our own community, we're thinking about Ross Rumack, Frank Erskine, Hilly Goodstein, Alex Bortnick, Micah Purdy, Susan Mermelstein, Megan Krass, Kara Clift, and Deborah Moradian. If there's someone who you are thinking about in need of healing, please feel free to say their names out loud or in your hearts. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We now move to the Elenu on page 587 of your prayer books, and when you arrive there, I invite you to stand with me. Lenu Shabbat Adon Hakol La Tekutula Leoser Breshit Shahu Samchalkin Lechedet Shemo Bagar Alenu Lahamlik Malchuto Vanatnu Korim Umishtachavim Umodim Lifnei Melech Malchei HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Turn to page 591. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear, doubt, and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity, and cause the light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech kol haaretz v'yom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo We now turn to the Mourner's Kalash on page 598 of our prayer books. And these are the yard sites we're thinking about this week. Anna Cohen, Stephen Frank, Harold Greenbaum, Florence Greenbaum, Richard Kaufman, Joe Kirkner, Abe Levy, Francis Pescar, and Mary Schomburg. If there's someone who you are thinking about, please feel free to say their names out loud or in your hearts. Zikronam livracha, the memories be for a blessing. Yit kedal v'yit kedash shemei rabbah, Be'alma divra chayotei v'yamlik malchutei. B'chayechon uvyamechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarak le'alam u'lamei elmaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yibramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemed kudusha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Dal miran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high, bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. To invite Roy up here for some announcements, and you may be seated.
Thank you, Rabbi. You are all welcome here. You all belong here. Our evening services are at 6 p.m. on Fridays, and you're welcome to attend all of them. Our Shabbat morning services and Torah study are from 10:30 to about noon on every Saturday here in person. We have two midweek prayer services. Wednesday morning minyan meeting is via Zoom at 8:30. And our morning minyan service on Thursdays is in person right here at 8:30. And followed by breakfast at Kava Pancake House for those who choose to participate in that. Some other special events that recur regularly. There's an opportunity to help feed the hungry every third Saturday at Fairview Rec Center on East 10th Avenue. If you show up around 1 o'clock, you can help with setting things up, which is a process, and then distribution of food starting at about 2 o'clock. We have our Board of Trustees meeting normally every third Wednesday of the month, and that takes place in the synagogue library over there, plus via Zoom. And we have religious school on Sundays with 9:30 for Hebrew classes and 10 o'clock. Rabbi Abram leads the young people in Shabbat time machine. They travel back in time to Shabbat and have their own small Shabbat service there. Yes. What's that? Oh, okay. We're on winter break, so I won't say never mind, but so maybe. Okay. Okay. In early January. All right. We have. I'm going to shorten up a little bit. We got some particular special things coming up. Our CBS celebration of Hanukkah will be on December 27th, which is Friday night, right? Yes, okay. So join us for that.
Get ready, it's going to be applesauce versus sour cream.
Applesauce versus sour cream. For which is the superior topping. I, of course, know the right answer, but I'm not going to spoil it for the rest of you. At the same time? So,
there's Dreidel Madness.
Dreidel, yes.
There's a baking contest.
Dreidel Madness, ugly sweater contest, cooking, a cook-off, people cooking here, or the?
They're bringing the baked goods.
Bringing.
It's gonna be
A baked goods smackdown. Yes.
It's gonna be a crazy night.
All right. And then, let's see, that's Friday night. And then Saturday evening, we're having a special Havdalah get-together for our dear and valued elder member, Joe Josephson, pioneer in Alaska, pioneer with our congregation, and he will be relocating to the lower 48 early in this new calendar year. And 6:30 on Saturday the 28th, And is that potluck and is it dairy or?
It's dairy.
Yes, okay, just checking, just checking. Potluck, bring dairy to share, or vegetarian, or vegan. All right, other announcements? Yes, Aviva. On the 26th. Okay, so I'll repeat this for Zoom audience. Young Professionals group is planning a December 26th Chinese food get-together, tentatively 7 o'clock, and tentatively at a Chinese restaurant to be determined.
And people can all reach out to Hannah Dietrich.
Hannah Dietrich is the one to corner on that for the exact details. Other announcements? All right. Thank you very much. Back to you, Rabbi.
I also realized that I didn't pour enough wine and juice for the congregation today, which I love having that problem. So if who's ever dealing with the wine and juice for Oneg, you get some more in there, that'd be great for us. Thank you. Anyways, moving over to 647 of your prayer book. Ozi vazimrat ya vayahi eli lishua. 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 Shabbat shalom.
Please join us for Oneg. And I forgot to mention, if you want to, I do a small study group after Oneg for folks that want to practice on reading our word from the Latin transliteration of the library. Those who want to. Just trying to see it. That would be good, yeah. I can't judge
6 to